Well, in order to defend yourself, you need to know how you're going to be attacked. Hey there guys, my name is Tyler and welcome to my Ty Talk. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch these videos and I hope you find them helpful. If you do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content to help you be better. In today's video, I'll be giving you the weapons of slave morality. Like the other videos so far, this will be a brief introduction to them and I will be going deeper into them in later videos where I point out specific instances of them in the real world. Now, I could easily rant and rave about these for hours at a time, so I'll do my best to keep it nice and short for you all. But nonetheless, you still need to be aware of what slaves will use when they try to keep you down and make you worse. In general, slaves love logical fallacies. Logical fallacies are common errors in reasoning that will undermine the logic of your argument. Fallacies can be either illegitimate arguments or irrelevant points, and are often identified because they lack evidence that supports their claim. Slaves love these because a slave does not possess what is needed to go head-to-head in any competition. The weapons that they use can typically be classified as logical fallacies, but I'll be using their common names to help in the explanation of them. These weapons that slaves love and use all the time to destroy others are redefinition, thought policing, absolute values, and attacks on ego. They will use these to guilt you into listening to them and forcing you to conform to their rules. These are incredibly insidious, and that is why you must learn them and be on guard against them. The first one is redefinition, and this by far is their favorite weapon. Redefinition can also be called the moving of the goalposts fallacy. That is defined as, quote, changing the rules in a situation or activity to gain an advantage for oneself and make things difficult for others, end quote. I'm sure most of you have gone through a situation like this when you were growing up. You're playing some game and you're crushing your opponent. The opponent then says, well, my points are now worth double. No, you don't get to change the rules of the game in the middle just because you're losing. You don't get to redefine the rules of the game. This mentality was supposed to die off as people got older and matured, but unfortunately, it hasn't. Another form of redefinition is the literal sense of the word. People will take a word and give it a completely new definition. Like how I said before, the slave cannot go head to head, and because of that, they need to change what words mean in order to give them the advantage. Do not fall for this. They are constantly attacking our language these days, and it's only making things worse. You don't believe me? What's a recession? What's a vaccine? What's racism? And what is a woman? We need clear definitions of what things are to determine if something is or is not the thing. If we allow slaves to redefine words, it will only lead to further destruction of our society and species. Slaves need things to be vague so they can claim that they are the ones that are good and right. Slaves hate definitions. From episode 3, we know what is better. Since we know what is better, we know that a slave will redefine it into what they think is better. We know that being strong, smart, healthy, so on and so on, is better for you and society as a whole, but a slave will redefine that morality and say, no, being weak is better, being stupid is better, being unhealthy is better. Well, it's not. Never has been, never will be. If you think it is, that's fine. I have a question for you now, and that is, what are the benefits of being weak? This is your chance to sell it to me. Sell me this incredible product that is being weak. Tell me all of the rewards that will be reaped by being weak. I'll wait. Burden of proof lies on you. Now, I know that there likely won't be a single benefit to being weak, but I don't deal in absolute values. But more on that later. Redefinition is mostly used to falsely raise up the value of a slave without them actually making themselves better. Why put in the effort to be a better human when you could be worthless and just say, no, I'm actually really good just the way that I am. In fact, everyone should want to be just like me. Have you noticed this shift in the world? People used to lie about being better. Oh yeah, I invented this great thing. I climbed this high mountain. I fought in XYZ wars. We used to shame them and make fun of them for lying, But now we celebrate the worse. People are lying about mental disorders. People are trying to scam others by lying about how bad of a person that they are. Tourette's, BPD, schizophrenia are not things to be celebrated, and yet people are lying about having them. Why? Why claim that being these things is good? In what world is having these disorders a good thing? The people lying about having them know subconsciously that they aren't good people. They will cling to any little thing they can and try to claim that that thing is a good thing and that makes them good by having it. They also try to force you to also say that it is good. It's not good at all, and they will try to force you to accept them through thought policing. Thought policing is when a person is trying to manipulate you. They're trying to control your thoughts about themselves. Gaslighting is the most common form of thought policing, where quote, a person or group of people to psychologically manipulate a person, usually over an extended period of time, so that the victim questions the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and experiences confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, and doubts concerning their own emotional or mental stability. Slaves can't go head-to-head, so they will lie about what is good. If you think otherwise, they will lie to ensure that you don't continue thinking that way. Have you ever heard of the phrase, I could never think that way? I don't know how you could even think that way. Well, these are two little jabs at you and are psychologically designed to make you question why you think that way. They're trying to establish that your way of thinking is harmful. It's not. The thoughts in your head are irrelevant to those around you, but a slave needs you to think about them in a specific way. They need that external validation from others. They need people to tell them that they are in fact good because they know subconsciously that they're not. That is why they will use these subtle, manipulative phrases to try and control your thoughts. They will, of course, just outright lie as well, but that's much more apparent, and you should already know not to listen to people that lie to you. But next on the list is absolute values. Slaves love absolute values because it is an incredibly simple way of viewing the world. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of black and white logic, but absolute values don't fit that logic. For example, a racist believes in absolute values. If you are black, then you must be bad. If you are white, then you must be good. No, that's not even close to right, and that's why we've established that racism is a pseudoscience. There's no evidence to back up that claim. But to a slave, it's all or nothing. One of the ways that they will try to prove this is with the exception fallacy. The exception fallacy is when a conclusion is reached based on the exceptional case. This one is, to me, one of the most annoying. Here's a generalization. Men are stronger than women. Well, I know this one girl. And first of all, I'm speaking in a generalization. On average, men are physically stronger than women. But second, the exception that you bring up doesn't negate the rule. So why say it? What are you trying to prove with your statement of, I know this one woman? Yes, I know women can be strong. I love it when they are, and I wish more women were stronger. I also wish more people were stronger as well, since it makes everything better, but why did you say it? Here's this one exception to the rule. And a generality isn't an absolute value in the first place, so what are you trying to achieve by saying that there is an exception? Did you think that it was an absolute value? Is that where you're coming from? Slaves love the pass or fail, black and white of absolute values, but they also forget that they love to redefine what those things are in the first place. Because remember, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Apparently, all black people must vote for Biden, and if you don't, we're going to say that you're not black anymore. This logic helps to keep the absolute value intact, because if everyone who voted for Biden is defined as black, and then those that didn't are defined as something else. But apparently to these people, your skin color is actually defined by them and not what you walk around with. People are people, and they have a variety of ways of looking and acting, and those two things have nothing to do with each other. You can be black and successful. You can be white and a piece of shit. Only a slave would say that all blacks must be one way and all whites must be another. Oh, but isn't master versus slave black and white? No, it's not. Sure, you can say that those are the two categories of people, but if you remember from episode 3 and the stats, it's a spectrum. It's not black or white. You can be more of a master and more of a slave than someone else. A person could be low value, have all the stats pushed way over here, and they could be a master because they have accepted responsibility of their current state and are actively taking steps to make themselves better. They have finally gotten control of their ego and are no longer blaming others for their own mistakes. That's why I encourage you to listen to as many people as possible, and why I'm giving you the tools that you need to sort out the information for yourself. You have a higher likelihood of success by listening to people above you in the hierarchy, but it is not a guarantee. These stats are to make you aware of what a slave will generally look like and why you should stay away from them. It is not an absolute value. Not every single slave is weak. Not every master is strong. It's an accumulation of those stats, and it's heavily weighted by whether or not that person is overrun by their ego. The other stats are valued as a result of a person's ego. These videos are to help you sort through people in your life and help you to determine who to listen to. Slaves generally act like this. Masters generally act like that. This is the math. So like I said, I could go on a tirade for hours about these, but the last weapon is an attack on your ego. Simply put, insults, bullying, ad hominem fallacy. That's when you attack the character and not the argument. I think that we should raise the speed limit to 75 miles an hour. Yeah, well, you're just stupid. Okay. Now that may be, but what does it have to do with my argument? This is very similar to Redefinition, where it was supposed to die out in our earlier years, but it grew up along with us. Adults are constantly insulting each other instead of actually addressing the claim or point being made. That's an immediate red flag on who not to listen to. I post online just like anyone else these days. I'll make a claim, and then here come the insults. I don't take it personally because I know that as soon as I see it, that person is worthless to me. I know that they just want me to feel bad about my position, and they don't have anything to counter it. It doesn't prove me wrong in the least. So why should I listen to someone that just wants me to feel bad? Why should I listen to someone that adds no value to my life or even the argument? Why should you? I have no problem being wrong about something, and I'm open to being corrected. But insults? How does that fix wrong information? All that does is attempt to make the slave feel better by trying to knock you down. Don't let them knock you down. But that's all anyone does these days. You're an istophobe and I'm going to cancel you. Oh my God, no. Not an istophobe. I'm sorry. I don't know, whatever it is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for even existing. No. No. You have taken a position on a topic and you have caused no harm. It doesn't matter if they redefine it to say it was harmful. It doesn't matter if they tell you that you're a bad person for even thinking it. It doesn't matter if they think that everyone who thinks that way is bad. And it doesn't matter what shit it is that they say about you. If it doesn't negate the argument, they're telling you exactly who they are. And these people are not worth listening to. They do not matter. Hey there guys, thank you so much for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Thank you again so much for watching.